Members of council, this is Darren Cunningham, and I'm going to try to be as quick as I can on this, but there's a lot to go over. I know you have a lot of things to go through today with these bills that are coming up and a lot of emails and things going, but to make a long story short, I am very pleased with some things that I'm seeing, and I'm very disappointed with the actions and behaviors of some folks at council as well, just to be honest. So, Berkeley Allen, I commend you. You have done a phenomenal job at proposing a bill of which I objected, quite honestly, and a lot of people I knew objected. But what you did that was so important here is you reached out when you heard an objection. You said, I would like to hear all sides of the story. Tell me about your personal story. Tell me about the story of the people that you know that are affected by this. We all met. I think it's been a total, I've been a part of 6 of the meetings or so, but a total of about a dozen meetings you've had to see all sides of the story. And you've done a great job in enlightening me and my constituents and people that I work with about your side of the story and the things that you hear from the other side that I don't always see. I'm in a bubble. I'm in the real, and those people are in a bubble, and you're in a bubble. So we all got outside of our bubbles, and we're able to put together something that met 90% of what everybody's objections were to their other sides of the story. So thank you for that. Your proposal ultimately is very reasonable. Not exactly what I want, but reasonable. And I appreciate that. Other folks have put together things here that are diligence has not been conducted. And I'm very disappointed by that. I'm going to repeat that. I'm very disappointed that you would put together a bill by only hearing certain very jaded stories and your own personal input on it. And I think that's fundamentally unfair to not do your research. There's no economic study conducted. It's grossly negligent. I've reached out to you. You know who you are. Other members of my my organizations. I'm a developer, I'm a realtor, I'm an investor. Some of those things are bad words to some of you all, because you don't necessarily think that we do good things, and I won't get into that too much. But again, very disappointing that the proper research would not be done before you propose an amendment that would be financially devastating and cause bankruptcy to many, many, many people involved. Not to mention the trickle-down effect that will have. It's catastrophic. So I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed. I would encourage you to reach out. Learn, like Berkeley did. She did a great job. So some quick bullet points here before I harp on that too much. The things that I see as a problem here in some of the bills or amendments that are written, if a complaint's filed against somebody who has an RM property with an STR permit, basically one valid complaint would make that property not transferable the way it reads. That language needs cleaned up. That's not fair. The 3 strikes and you're out, I disagree with that. You could have a strike in 2019, one in 2029, and one in 2035, and you have your permit revoked permanently, and you cannot transfer that to another STR owner. That's unfair if you think about it. The current rules that are in place, you can have up to a 1-year suspension. That's a very hefty penalty. Carrying costs on these run between $30,000 and $60,000 a year. If you take that permit away, you carry it for 30 or 60 grand a year, plus you lose the revenue. That's a massive penalty. Okay, let's get better regulations in place, not unrealistic, penalties for folks. The grandfathering needs to happen. It's fundamentally unfair. If you put a bill in place such as 608 just about a year ago, and people make purchases based on the rules and regulations that you wrote, you took a very long time to do so, and I spoke with many of you, you know who you are, about now that this is in place, is it going to change? And the answer is absolutely not. That's why we took so long to get it in place the first time, so we wouldn't have to change things. So hundreds of millions of dollars have been allocated to a lot of projects around town based on the rules that you wrote. To then change that is fundamentally unfair. Let's work with that. So the current bill puts a cap on RM properties or more short-term rental permits with RM properties by default. So no longer can you do it. So let's go ahead and work with the ones that are in place and not financially devastate the people who are involved. And let's not think that developers and investors are the bad guys. I'm a real person, okay? I'm a former school teacher. I turned into a realtor. I decided to invest a little bit. My father and I partnered on a project. He took his life savings, invested into this, okay? I did the same thing. I've been saving and saving and saving for years and years and years. And finally I have a project I want to invest in based on the rules that you wrote. And now you're going to put me severely upside down and in a place of financial catastrophe if this goes through. So it's not fair. We need to have transferable permits. It's a no-brainer, okay? Otherwise it devalues the property. So those things. The complaint process, let's go back to that. Proper vetting needs to happen when filing a complaint. I don't have a clear understanding of the vetting process, so can random neighbor who's mad just file a complaint and then we don't have a chance to fight it, and then you get that marked on your record and it's devastating to your property? That needs addressed. It's problematic. It needs cleaned up. Let's see. Those are the main points I'd like to make here. And just, everything about this, just, you need to think common sense here and don't hurt people intentionally. By wiping away Section 14, Freddie, you're behind this. You've got some supporters on it too, several. I will let you know, by wiping that away, you are intentionally, knowingly causing major financial distress and harm to people. And hopefully you're not okay with that. So what I ask is that you do the proper research before proposing things like this, okay? Let's get this changed. Let's meet, okay? Let's meet with a group of people like Berkeley did and hear all sides of this, okay? You know how to reach me via this email. My phone number is 615-456-4086. I'm going to continue to keep reaching out to you until I hear answers. Thank you very much for your consideration. Have a great day.